everything we do is designed to empower someone. We empower farmers to flourish. We empower financial goals to be achieved. We empower healing to be found. I want to invite all of you to join with us in this mission.
It's my privilege to address you for a few brief moments as we begin what I believe will be several opportunities for meaningful education. Now, it occurs to me that in today's world, health has become an adaptation to our changing needs, one that has individual definition and consequently one that requires, to whatever degree plausible, a more personalized approach to our care. Today, you and I are a part of more than 70% of the population who look to natural methods and products to improve some aspect of their health. We're also a member of more than 50% of the population who have used or are currently using essential oils. And we all know and understand that essential oils are the elixirs of aroma that entice us to smell a rose. And they're the reason peppermint has that distinctly refreshing, minty aroma. Essential oils are complex chemistry. They're extracted from roots, seeds, flowers, and other components of various plants. How you extract them, when you extract them, and the methods used to extract them are all variables profoundly affecting the individual chemistry of each oil. Now, if I could be bold for just a moment, I would tell you with great confidence, and maybe just a tiny bit of humility, that doTERRA does this better than anyone else in the entire world. Now, however, it's more than individual need which validates the acceptance of essential oils. It's by all standards an emerging science and a return to what was once well understood, accepted, and known to be effective. What we are experiencing is a convergence of history and modern healthcare, and it's resulted in an evolving image of health. When we first started doTERRA 12 years ago, it was just us as the founders. We were overflowing with enthusiasm and had an unstoppable energy in our little group because of the impact we wanted to make in the world. The roles we played then, in many ways, are very different from what is required of us now. We are all still actively involved in pushing forward the mission and vision of doTERRA, but we are no longer working alone. We are members of an astonishing group, a group of talented and skilled individuals. Now, I wish to thank each of you and express our appreciation to you because this group includes each of you as we work collectively to bring about much good in the world. I also personally wish to thank the many scientists, physicians, chemists, biologists, botanists, and the many others who work so diligently to help us accomplish our greater purpose. It's my pleasure to work with them directly. They are dedicated, and I consider them to be friends and confidants in every regard. Now I'm pleased because you'll have the opportunity to hear from many of them over the course of the following few days. I express my great confidence in them, and I invite you to do likewise. With our collective focus on science, a continued dedication to purity and quality standards, and a commitment to working with healthcare, I believe we can empower individuals and families to reclaim their health and vitality. Certified pure, therapeutic-grade essential oils are progressively becoming an indispensable component of what I call health redefined. It is evident that personalized and self-directed care is an expectation had by most and may very well be defining the future of accepted health practices. I hope you'll join with me and join with us and the people throughout the world in experiencing the healthy attributes provided through these gifts of the earth known as essential oils. Welcome as we gather together now to learn more. Now, it's also my honor to introduce the U.S. General Manager, Sarah Marie Smith. I've known Sarah Marie for many years, and I find her to be a strong advocate for the use of pure therapeutic grade essential oils. Her dedication to doTERRA and the mission of empowering through essential oils is rivaled, in my opinion, by very few. That devotion does not end at the doors of our beautiful campus, but fills her home as she cares for her 3 very active little boys. Sarah Marie, take us away.
There is a proverb that teaches the healthy person has 1,000 dreams, the unhealthy person has 1. Right now, we're about to give you the knowledge to help you take control of your health. We're going to teach you when and how much On Guard to take, along with other key products that support the immune system. We also have safety guidelines for internal use. When you know, you know. And we're here to give you the power of knowledge. You'll leave empowered to keep your immune system strong so you can chase your dreams. While we listen and learn, let's stay connected. We have giveaways throughout this session for over $2,000 worth of prizes. For a chance to win, all you have to do is post on social media about Pursue Global Connection. Today with the hashtag doTERRAPursue2020. Later on, we'll be learning about the cycle of immunity. And you'll want to at least have a basic understanding of the immune system before we get to that. So, we have a pediatric infectious disease doc here to help us understand, in kid terms, what innate and adaptive immunity are. You may recognize him from the COVID Facebook series earlier this year. doTERRA Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Russell Osgathorpe.
Over the course of my career as a pediatric infectious diseases specialist, I've treated countless patients. One of these was a 6-year-old boy who will forever be etched in my memory. He had a rare form of leukemia, and his treatments decimated his immune system, making him vulnerable to all sorts of infections that wouldn't cause any of us any problem at all. I got to know him and his family closely over the course of his illness. He was infected with a virus common to childhood, which ended up destroying his lungs and taking his life, despite our best efforts to stop it. This is why immunity is central to all life on Earth. The immune system has received a lot of attention lately, and we have a good opportunity to separate some fact from fiction today. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but the fact is that without your immune system, you would die due to overwhelming infection. There's an endless list of things that can potentially damage your body, and you're exposed to these harmful substances, pathogens, and cellular changes on a daily basis. Your immune system detects and responds correctly to thousands upon thousands of microbial and antigen-related issues without you being conscious of its actions at any time. There are more microbial cells in and on our bodies than there are human cells in our body. Keeping the invaders out of places in our bodies they should not be is incredibly important. Here's where your immune system enters the picture. It plays this vital role in protecting you from infection. So, how does it work? There are 2 types of immunity, innate and adaptive, also known as cellular immunity. These immune systems protect our bodies inside and out from all different kinds of threats. Let me explain a little bit more about what these are and why they matter. First, let's start with the innate immune system. Innate immunity is the body's primary protection against the outside world. It includes all kinds of physical barriers, including the skin and mucous membranes. These barriers make it more difficult for threats to enter the body. It also includes cells that immediately respond to dangers like injury or infection, but can't respond or distinguish between species of organism. These are general responses, not specific. This function of the lining of our lungs keeps us from getting diseases like pneumonia. Second, our digestive system has vital functions that protect us from infections. Secretions like mucus, bile, and saliva make it extremely difficult for pathogens to colonize and then infect us. Gut microbiota plays a very important role as well. With healthy microbial flora in our gut, pathogens have a hard time finding any room to grow and cause an infection. Third, our skin is a tremendous barrier against infection and has many cells that generally respond to damage like cuts, abrasions, and bruises. When our skin is injured, general responses from immune cells help to kill invading pathogens and recruit higher-level immune cells that can respond specifically to the exact location and nature of an injury. I could go on describing every body system and how it contributes to the innate immune response. From our eyes to our genitourinary system, from our gut to our lungs, we are able to exist because of barriers and general responses to pathogens and invaders of the innate immune system. But that is only the very beginning of the amazingly robust response our immune system coordinates. Now let's talk about the second part of our immune system, the adaptive immune system. Adaptive immunity is more complex and specialized. It consists of two main cell types, B cells and T cells. Receptors on these cells recognize specific antigens and organisms. An antigen is a specific molecule that fits like a lock and a key into a specific B or T cell receptor. The innate immune system presents these antigens to T cells that can then sound the alarm, so to speak, before the infecting organism can cause a disease. The innate and adaptive immune systems work together to protect us from infection, allergen, and injury. In addition to T and B cells, there are two divisions of the adaptive immune response, humoral immunity and cell-mediated immunity. B cells are responsible for our humoral immunity. They create antibodies that can detect and then flag antigens or organisms circulating in the blood and infected tissues. Once the threat is flagged or labeled, the body's cells can recognize and then eliminate the invading infection. Because antibodies are so specific and so small, they can label the organism anywhere they've landed in our body, even far away from the B cell that created the antibody. This is a remarkably well-designed protective element of our immune system. Cell-mediated immunity relies on special types of T cells that recognize and then can kill infected cells. Let's say a virus has infected our lungs. T cells specific to that virus can recognize cells that have been infected and then hijacked by that virus. They then eliminate that cell, recruit an army of immune cells designed to fight the infection, or they can trigger a self-destruct sequence in the infected cell. Whichever it is, the T cells have to act fast before the pathogen in the infected cell has time to replicate, escape, and infect other cells throughout the body. But wait, there's more. Our immune system has something called immune memory. It remembers the old enemies it has beaten and also remembers how to fight them. This immune memory makes future responses against the same threat more efficient and effective. When subsequently infected for a second time with a pathogen we have once responded to, we can create a faster, more powerful response thanks to immune memory. Even if it is 10 years after the fact, 50 years after the fact, it's phenomenal. It may surprise you, but managing stress can be beneficial for your immune system. Stress can have a serious impact on the state of your health. Unmanaged stress can suppress your immune system and actually make your immune response less efficient. Many of you likely experienced this during exams in school. You made it through your exams and then a few days later started feeling under the weather and sick. Maybe you've watched your kids go through this cycle. Some people experience this type of stress for long periods of time. Chronically high stress levels are problematic, not only for our immune systems, but for many other body systems. That's why it's so critical to manage our stress proactively. You'll hear more about this topic in later sessions, so I won't spend much time on it, but it's worth keeping in mind. We've all heard advice about ways to strengthen the immune system. Some of it good and basically universal, some of it uncertain and subjective, and some of it actually kind of bad. Now's a good time to lay out exactly what you can do starting today to give your body the boost it needs to defend itself and you from infection. They may sound basic and self-explanatory, but they are so necessary. First up is something you've likely heard recently. Wash your hands. I cannot stress this enough. Wash your hands, people. Not only does this help prevent the spread of germs to others in unprecedented times like these, but it also limits the power they can have on you. Think about how often you touch your face, giving these microorganisms ready access to enter the body through facial orifices. Washing your hands helps significantly to reduce infection. Next, a few ways we can decrease stress and strengthen our immune system. Eat a healthy diet with fresh fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, and proteins. This kind of diet provides your body with essential nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that you need to properly function, and that especially includes your immune system. Following your diet is your level of activity. Be sure to exercise regularly. Vary it up so you aren't just doing the same activity in the same pace repeatedly. Moderate exercise has repeatedly been shown to be the foundation of a healthy lifestyle. And finally, get adequate sleep. Studies have shown that far too many adults in the US aren't getting the proper amount, not to mention the right type of rest they need every night. On average, adults should be getting approximately 8 hours of rest a night. Most of us don't get enough sleep, and restful sleep is another foundational component of a healthy life and immune system. In conclusion, your immune system is truly incredible and endlessly fascinating. To me, at least, I hope it is to you. It is a robust defense against infection, constantly working to keep you healthy, both by keeping threats out and neutralizing any threats that do make it into your body. By practicing healthy habits and taking care of your body, you can keep your immune system strong and able to handle all the challenges the microbial world throws at us every day. Stay safe.
I sometimes feel like I'm on the magic school bus when I listen to Dr. Osgothorpe because he makes things like mucociliary elevators make sense. It's kind of amazing how our bodies are designed to keep us healthy. From physical barriers to learned fighting mechanisms, we really are protected. Now that we know how immunity works, next up, we're getting into some details about what you can do to protect your body, strengthen your immune system, and respond to environmental threats. My family travels a lot. From Zion National Park to Christmas markets in Europe, we've encountered some unfamiliar things on subway benches and bus handrails. Ooh, you probably have too. Protecting, strengthening, and responding are keys to keeping us moving. Dr. David Hill is a founding executive for doTERRA. With more than 30 years of experience teaching about and researching essential oils, he leads the science and healthcare initiatives on a grand scale. And if you've ever had the opportunity to meet him, you know how much time and attention he devotes to helping each individual feel their very best.
It's great to be with you, and it's now my opportunity to speak with you for a few minutes about one of my favorite oils. I hope it's one of yours as well, doTERRA On Guard, and the role I feel it plays in supporting a healthy immune outcome for you and your families. Now, before I do, I want to take just a minute, and I want to thank Dr. Osgothorpe. It's been my pleasure to work with him now for more than a year. I appreciate his expertise, and in this case, I really appreciate his explanation of immunity. He is an expert in immunity. I'm also appreciative of his expertise in a much broader sense, in the completeness of not just his message that you just heard, but all of the value that he brings to doTERRA. So thank you, Dr. Osgothorpe. It's a pleasure to work with you and have you with us. While we all understand the importance of immunity in our own personal health, I'd like to share some additional thoughts for the role many of our products play in individual health and the regimens that you have for immunity on a regular basis. Now, there's many ways to classify the use of essential oils and the value that they bring. One of the things I would like to point out, and I think this is critical for you to know and understand, our own personal experience. And so your personal experience remains one of the most significant. In spite of everything that you'll hear from me and from others, I would like to encourage you to trust your own experience and expand the depth of that experience. In the coming sessions of this event, you'll hear and learn much, some of which you may be familiar with and some which will be brand new. In each instance, however, I would like you to know that the recommendations and information that is shared is a confluence of science and research and the appropriate models of personal and professional use. On Guard Essential Oil, the blend, and the additional products within the On Guard line are core and central to a consistent model of resiliency expressed through your immunity. Let's begin by first classifying according to specific needs. Now, you'll remember that Dr. Osgothorpe mentioned the two types of immunity. They were identified previously as innate and cellular. Our body's need for immune response can be categorized as well. The first is an acute response. A good way to think about this is that acute generally suggests that there's an immediate or fast response that's needed. Then there's chronic response. This is thought of as a condition that may require long-term immune activity. And finally, of course, there's our efforts toward individual prevention. Now, more specifically, and a more simplified thought would be to suggest that we're in a constant cycle of immunity, which flows readily between our efforts for prevention and strengthening of the immune system and the need for effective and appropriate responses within the immune system. This also allows us to understand more fully the different types of immunity. For example, our innate or barrier immunity is primarily focused on prevention. Many of the doTERRA products available to you are formulated and developed specifically with this in mind. PB Assist, for example, is perfectly suited to support a healthy gut biome, along with its additional protective health promoting sequences. On Guard hand wash and the sanitizing mist is designed, of course, for healthy hand washing and sanitization. Purify Essential Oil is a wonderful blend, and it's especially effective for its diffusion qualities that helps to refresh the air and the environment. These are all great examples of products available to support your body's innate immunity as a whole. Now, cellular immunity is our response, as I mentioned earlier, to circumstances of immune need. If you're like me, you have several favorites that fit into this category of support. Some of my favorites include frankincense, doTERRA On Guard, and doTERRA Breathe. Many products like the doTERRA On Guard beadlets and throat drops demonstrate some of the innovative ways doTERRA has established essential oils and other oil-infused products as easy to understand, convenient and safe, and simple to use. Now, I don't mean to imply that everything is simple and easy to accommodate and resolve if we just use essential oils. I would like to imply that, and we've all probably had wonderful experiences with the essential oils. But many things are complicated. They're difficult, especially in circumstances of immunity. It makes good sense that we learn to do things consistently that enhance our body's ability to respond efficiently and fully. Later today, Dr. Riggs will share, for example, additional meaningful ways that you can use the essential oils to support yourself, using care practices that incorporate daily and specific episodic usage models. Many, many years ago, as I began using the essential oils, I was really enthusiastic about their use. I remain that way today, though I have to admit that my knowledge and my expertise has markedly changed. Today, we know more about the essential oils. We know more about their constituents and the ways they influence the body and the systems that they work within. Much of the study at doTERRA has really been focused on purity, the specifics of the chemistry of the essential oils, and the beneficial influence of that chemistry. Chemistry is one of the more significant ways to classify and understand essential oils. Now, I made a commitment a long time ago to never talk about chemistry, and I'm proud to announce that I have failed 100% of the time. So you guessed it, let's talk for just a minute about chemistry. Now, I want to preface this by saying I really don't feel it's necessary for every person to have this in-depth understanding of chemistry to be able to use essential oils effectively. Knowledge, however, of just a few key concepts can be really helpful. And so my hope is that through a basic understanding of some of the principles I'll explain to you, you'll discover additional uses of essential oils. And maybe your expertise and your knowledge will increase, and it'll give you additional confidence in using the essential oils. Oils which you may have not used before or previously not been familiar with. One thing to be mindful of is that there's immense complexity in the chemistry of essential oils. And each essential oil is unique in its own chemistry. Even seemingly subtle differences in chemistry can create notable and significant changes in the physical attributes of an essential oil, and certainly differences in the benefits that they provide as well. Many essential oils may seem similar in their chemistry, but they react and respond differently. This is one of the fundamental reasons why many of these essential oils are often suggested as ideal to provide healthy support for the body as a whole. We may have many ways to describe and separate essential oils by their chemical constituents. All oils, for example, contain terpene units such as monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes. Now, don't get so caught up in the terms I'm going to explain to you, because I'm going to give you just a few key points to remember. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that aside from terpenes, essential oils can also contain functional groups. These are things like esters and alcohols, ketones, and of course, there's many, many others. For On Guard, I'm going to limit our conversation to just a couple of different things. One is monoterpenes, and then one is 3 specific functional groups, and how each one can relate to your own individual efforts to support a healthy immune capability. So let's begin with monoterpenes. Now, monoterpenes, in the most basic sense, are just a class of hydrocarbons and are one of several types of hydrocarbons that can be found in essential oils. Now, one you're very familiar with. The most common monoterpene is D-limonene, one of the most common forms of limonene, which is found abundantly in citrus oils. In many citrus oils, D-limonene, it's a dominant compound. And in some cases, like for example, wild orange or grapefruit, it's nearly 100% of the oil's total chemistry. Now, there's been much in the way of study on D-limonene, and you're probably familiar with most of it. And specifically, its influence on glutathione and immunity is well understood through the clinical research. While many essential oils contain monoterpenes, here's a key point, that those rich in D-limonene are strong supporters of a healthy immune response. Now, while all essential oils contain terpenes, such as monoterpenes, essential oils are also identified by compounds within functional groups. Now, it's safe to say in a really general sense, essential oils, all essential oils contain terpenes and functional groups collectively. Several categories of functional groups exist, but there are only 3 that are relevant to our discussion about On Guard: aldehydes, alcohols, and phenols. There are notable and unique differences between each of these functional groups, but it's more pertinent and maybe simpler to suggest that each one has specific action and benefits for once again supporting your body's healthy immune response. Simply put, oils rich in alcohol, aldehydes, and phenols, and for that matter, we could also now add D-limonene as a monoterpene, are good supporters of the immune system as a whole. And remember that strengthening and supporting the immune system is a part of the cycle of immunity. Earlier, I suggested that many essential oils and essential oil products may be helpful in supporting the immune system. We also discussed that many times we have acute and immediate needs within that. Some oils are formulated to address those needs specifically. For example, Breathe is a wonderful blend for easy breathing. Single oils like cinnamon, thyme, clove, rosemary, and eucalyptus may be used individually for specific needs unique to your own personal circumstance. Something I always appreciate most about the essential oils is that oftentimes they act fast and can help provide comfort and relief consistently. Remember the value of your own experience and the experience of other trusted individuals and sources. One trusted source I would suggest is the doTERRA chemistry wheel. Now here again, we're going to go into chemistry just a little bit, but I want you to learn how to use the chemistry wheel, and here's why it's so important. We categorize very carefully each essential oil for its dominant chemical characteristics. The wheel is separated into terpene units, both monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes, along, of course, with each functional group. Each one is represented on the wheel. In each section, you'll find essential oils you're familiar with, such as cinnamon, under the aldehyde section of the wheel. But you'll also know that additional oils could be easily considered for similar benefit. This is a good and productive way to take advantage of all of our many essential oils. With that basic understanding, let's look at the formulation of On Guard. It's important to note that several benefits emerge when blending essential oils. On Guard was one of the first blends we created in doTERRA. I believe it's a must-have for every home. In my opinion, and through my own personal experience of essential oil, it remains one of my most trusted and consistent and reliable sources for not just my own health, but for the health of my family. So first, let's look at the specific formulation of On Guard. You should recognize that On Guard was formulated following the basic principles we discussed earlier. It contains wild orange, which includes high amounts of monoterpenes, more than 90% D-limonene. Clove essential oil contains high amounts of a specific compound known as eugenol. It's a phenol, and it supports the body's natural ability to be resilient. Cinnamon has high amounts of an aldehyde known as cinnamonaldehyde. Among other benefits, it's been shown to support the immune system response by inhibiting specific communication strains. Other oils, like rosemary and eucalyptus, contain an alcohol, which can be clarifying and supports healthy immune activity. All of these oils are found in the doTERRA On Guard blend. The blending of essential oils at doTERRA is a well-defined practice. It encompasses our knowledge of science, of chemistry, and the best methods of artful technique. Experts in chemistry, human physiology, and safety all work together to ensure the highest quality and specific outcomes for each blend that we create. While this all takes great skill, there are additional reasons why blending oils in this way, I believe, is essential. Blending essential oils, and especially in the case of On Guard, produces synergistic value, synergy. It's a word that's often spoken of as a key benefit of essential oils. Let me explain it a little bit further. Diversity of chemistry that resides in a pure single oil naturally is greatly enhanced when oils are blended together. The most common phrase shared around synergy is the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So in order to understand synergy wholly, it's good to first understand the basics of metabolism. Now, I'm really not being very fair to you because first I said, hey, I'm going to talk about chemistry, but don't worry. Now I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to talk about metabolism, but don't worry. It's not going to be difficult, and it'll help you to understand a key point why I believe blended essential oils are significant. Now, all essential oils, we know that they're eventually metabolized by the liver, which can produce secondary and tertiary metabolites that create additional benefit through chemical reaction or response in the body as a whole. For example, limonene, which is found in citrus oils, we talked about it earlier, is primarily metabolized into pyrrolic acid. Although limonene itself is highly efficacious, pyrrolic acid mimics the effects of limonene and can demonstrate a stronger, longer-lasting effect. Another example is linalool acetate, which is present in high amounts in lavender, clary sage, bergamot, and other essential oils. Enzymes in the body metabolize linalool acetate to linalool. Based on these examples, it's easy to understand why all essential oils can exhibit synergy. In the case of a blended oil, however, there's a few notable differences in how we view synergy. Let me share a specific concept associated with On Guard. The blending of multiple oils, we already said, greatly increases the number and diversity of individual constituents, which may act on different targets within a single biochemical pathway, or, in due course, multiple biochemical pathways for a wider range of immune response and support than is achieved by any single oil or constituent on their own. Now, if you don't understand what I just said, let me make it really, really simple. What I said is that On Guard really works. On Guard is really valuable, and it's because of how the body metabolizes it, and because of the diversity in the chemistry, we have greater outcome and we have much greater benefit. This chemical synergy is what separates blends and single oils and separates essential oils as a whole from other forms of natural health practices. Now, one of the things I've consistently taught is that essential oils should become an integral part of your daily health routine. Though we may use oils based on episodic need, additional advantages are always gained when we learn to use them consistently. The metabolic synergy displayed by On Guard also lends itself to the safety of essential oils and blends in general beyond the obvious nature of its quality and purity. Many of the products we discussed today in the context of immunity are often thought of for an as-needed basis. On Guard is an oil blend, along with other products in the On Guard family, are really and ideally used in a daily maintenance model. While all essential oils are metabolized through the liver by enzymatic activity, blended oils often reduce metabolic enzyme depletion, primarily because of their chemical diversity. Metabolism still occurs, but may occur over a broader spectrum of associated enzymes. In short, we are less likely to overwhelm the body's metabolic capacity. That means greater benefit. On Guard is a wonderful oil that can help with the cycle of immunity, preventing, strengthening, and responding. When used with our other natural products, some which I have mentioned and some which you'll hear about a little bit later, it can be a powerful and efficacious tool for you and your family to use all year long. Now, just one last thought. Earlier in our discussion today, I mentioned that I have a high level of confidence. And my confidence was appropriate, not just due to the quality and purity of doTERRA oils and other products, but also because of the research engaged in by ourselves and other institutions, much of which, as you are aware, has been published and is available. On Guard has been studied in a number of different environments and research models, all demonstrating its unique and strong value. I'm excited for you to hear from Dr. Nicole Stevens. I'm excited to call her Dr. Nicole Stevens because she's worked very hard and very diligently in her area of study to become Dr. Stevens, and many others who will share some of their more compelling findings. It's been my pleasure to be with you today. I'm looking forward to opportunities in the future where we can be together and share in a more personal way. May each of you and your families and associates be blessed in all of your endeavors. Be safe and be well. I look forward to a great future with you together.
My name is Adam Thornton, and I live in Castle Rock, Colorado. I am also a teacher, and I teach middle school technology classes. I teach kids Photoshop, I teach them graphic design skills, I teach digital photography to kids. We also teach kids video production. The oil I use the most right now is just On Guard as a teacher. I'll diffuse On Guard when we go to bed for a little bit. At my teacher desk, I diffuse On Guard in the classroom when I'm sitting at my desk, or even I'll diffuse it, throughout the day as I have a class in my room so that it's there in the room. Hand sanitizer I use all the time. So as a computer teacher, there's often times where I have to go around and help students on their computer, and so after I help a student and maybe I'm done touching their keyboard or their mouse, then I'll use the On Guard hand sanitizer, and just all of that stuff just daily at different points in times, just to really help with the immune system and help with all those things that I'm exposed to in the classroom. One of my favorites to kind of help clear my airways is just to get a hot mug full of water and then put different oils in it and just breathe it in to help clear out the airways. I think I wanted to be a teacher for just a long time. As far as I can remember, I just always had it in my head that I wanted to be a teacher. God just kind of put me into middle schools, and I think I have the right personality for it. They're fun, it's quirky, and I've been there since my first job and haven't left. So definitely have, I guess, what it takes to be a middle school teacher.
So my name is Ashley Jackson, and I am from Fayetteville, Georgia, where I still live with my husband and my 3 children. And I am a 9th grade math teacher. 9th grade math teacher. My dad always told me when I was growing up that you should be a teacher. When I was in high school, he was like, you should be a teacher. I'm like, no thanks. I don't want to deal with anybody else's kids. But it really is my passion, and I really do enjoy it. Being in the classroom, of course, I'm always concerned about my health, and not just my physical health, but my mental and emotional health. We have been immensely blessed with essential oils. These are my favorite earrings. Says there's an oil for that. We use On Guard every day. On Guard was one of the first oils that I ever purchased. It has really helped us to stay healthy during all of the seasons. Since we've been using essential oils, you know, my kids and I have been able to maintain almost perfect attendance in school, which is nuts sometimes. In the last year, I've really been in tune with how my students show up in the classroom. Like when they walk through the door, are they smiling? What's going on with that kid? You know, did they have a rough morning? Are they having a hard time focusing? And I've been able to share essential oils with some of my students, and they sometimes need support to get from one place to the next, and they need that support to know that it really is going to be okay. So they trust me, they love the oils, they love the smell of it. It just does something with the atmosphere of the classroom. I've had kids come into my room and say it feels like a peaceful place always in my room. It really makes my heart want to be able to share with all of the parents that are sending all of the kids to school, whether they're sending them to school or if they're going to be learning from home. Being able to share something that can support them in their learning is really what I would, really what I have a passion for doing. I trust doTERRA because I know they work. Bottom line, I know they work.
One of the things that is so fun about the doTERRA home is that it's a choose your own adventure. We took over an entire floor of one of our buildings and built a living room, a kitchen, a family room, a bedroom, a bathroom, a home office, and even a backyard. As you select the room you want to explore, you'll see hotspots throughout. And each one of those you'll click on and learn what you want to learn. When you need something clean, On Guard is your hero. So whether your kids are coming in from playing outside, whether they're coming in from back to school and you're getting that snack ready, let's get your surfaces just as clean. Jennifer Eden's research on Guard is the proof that On Guard packs a powerful punch. Now, check out the bonus content and make sure you get the full study and understand what she did. On Guard is the hero when it comes to immunity. So whether you've gargled On Guard when you start to feel your throat tickle, or you take it with you everywhere you go, today, post a picture of yourself with your favorite On Guard product, whether that's the beadlets, the throat drops, or the oil itself, and hashtag doTERRA Pursue 2020. We're gonna give away some of the immunity kits that we shared with you last night that are brand new. We're excited to get them into your home, so don't forget to connect with us on social. Right now, we have Dr. Nicole Stevens, who's here to show us some research on epigenetics and On Guard.
On Guard was one of our earliest blends. It was created through the combined experience of our wellness advocates, along with research conducted on the individual oils. It was formulated for a very specific purpose, and there has been a mountain of anecdotal evidence pointing to its effects. That made us really excited to have the chance to scientifically validate the results that people kept telling us they were having with the oil. We did our very first research project with On Guard in 2010, and it has been actively studied since then. So we're looking at 10 years of research at this point. Today, I'm going to share some of that research with you, specifically a groundbreaking study we conducted in 2014. But in order to understand these scientific results about On Guard, I need to talk a little bit about epigenetics. I promise this is relevant. Imagine that there were switches in your DNA that told your cells to do certain things and to stop doing others. These switches can be toggled based on what your body needs or how it can adapt to its environment. This is the concept behind epigenetics. On a very high level, it is the study of how lifestyle factors affect which genes are expressed and to what degree. It's not a change in your DNA, just what instructions your DNA gives your body. This means that the things you eat, the products you use, and maybe even the things you think all play into how your genes behave. And maybe even more exciting, research leads us to believe that this gene expression can be passed on to your children. Big picture, the things you do today change how your newborn baby's DNA is expressed and how your DNA is expressed. The implications of this are enormous. So what do essential oils have to do with epigenetics? You might be wondering if I'm about to tell you that essential oils can flip switches in your DNA. Maybe I am. I'm excited to talk for a few minutes about a study that really opened our eyes to how essential oils interact with cells on a biochemical level. And hopefully by the end, you'll feel as excited as I do about the connection between essential oils and epigenetics. First, let me give you a little background on the doTERRA BioSeq study. This was a large in vitro study, meaning we were looking at cells growing in petri dishes. While this doesn't show us exactly what might be going on inside a human body, this type of study is absolutely critical. What it really comes down to is this. If we want to do studies on humans so we can show the efficacy of essential oils, we need to have evidence that it's going to work. So, back in 2014, we took about 20 doTERRA essential oils and blends and began looking for biochemical information on how these essential oils work down on a cellular level. We spent most of 2016 on intense analysis of the results, and then we published our research in 2017. There was so much information that we learned from this one study. I'm still looking at the research 6 years later. Good science takes years of research, study, and application. And what we've learned really gives us a good foundation for future studies. So let's jump into the actual study. Now, this study was special in a lot of ways. BioSeq discovered a way to grow multiple types of cells together. This is incredibly important because having multiple cell types together more closely mimics what you'd find in a complex organism, like a human. This makes the study much more informative than just testing on a single type of cell in a petri dish. Having the cells growing together allows them to interact with each other. We were then able to look at the interaction, as well as how the whole environment and the interaction changes when an essential oil is introduced. I mentioned that this study was special. It was also groundbreaking. Having these multiple cell types together is a step between single cells in a petri dish and an actual organism. We have a lot more control, which helps us see exactly what's happening down on that cellular level. And because doTERRA is committed to not doing our research in animal models, this type of study is one way for us to be able to test essential oils on more complex systems. Altogether, we created 8 different cell systems for testing. Now, when I say a system, I'm talking about groups of different cell types. It's really a complex community of cells, and the cell's behavior changes depending on the other types of cells that are also in the group. Think of it this way. If you put a group of women in a room who are all about the same age, and then introduced, say, a puppy into the room, they would behave very differently than if you put a group of babies and women together and then introduced a puppy. Different types of cells respond in different ways depending on the circumstances. Now, let's say you put a group of women of all different ages together, or women of the same age but different nationalities. You would find different interactions in each case. And this is essentially what we did in the study. Except instead of introducing a puppy, we introduced On Guard. So, one system might be we created a system for growth, or a group of cells whose function was to grow. and another might be an inflammatory system, just depending on what we were trying to study. The reason this is so incredible is that nothing like this has ever been done on this scale before. After we created the cell systems, we stressed them by increasing inflammation. We then introduced doTERRA On Guard into 4 systems so we could see different cellular responses. The thing we wanted to know was whether On Guard would upregulate or downregulate biochemical pathways. In other words, would it switch on or switch off the cell's responses? What happened next was remarkable. On Guard showed multiple activities on a cellular level. It was supportive of cellular health. It helped cells regain balance after being stressed. It helped a cell get back to its non-stressed state. This is where epigenetics comes in. On Guard showed downregulation of pathways that had been overstimulated, and it showed upregulation of pathways that had been suppressed. What this means is that On Guard actually turned up expression of genes that encouraged healthy functions, such as growth, metabolism, and communication. But it also turned down the genes that were associated with unhealthy states, like unbalanced division and overstimulation. It switched on genes that encouraged good responses and switched off or turned down the volume of genes that encouraged negative responses. Think of it like this. Imagine a symphony where the trumpets were way too loud, the violins were out of tune, and the flutes were playing much too quietly to hear. That would sound unpleasant and unbalanced, right? Along comes the conductor, helps the violins tune, tells the trumpets to quiet down, and brings up the volume of the flutes. At last, harmony and balance. On Guard, in the case of our cell systems, was an amazing symphony conductor. We saw On Guard do some incredible things in this study. Again, it helped immune balance and regulation, supported a healthy inflammatory response, participated in antioxidant activity, influenced multiple pathways of communication, and balanced cellular function after being stressed. All of this was possible with the power of a pure, natural, essential oil blend. And one of the really neat things we saw was that the blend of On Guard had synergistic behavior. When testing each individual oil from the blend in these same systems, we didn't see the same results. It really was the unique combination of the oils in On Guard that produced these effects. So we've talked about a lot of data, and you may be wondering what the key takeaway from this study is. Well, it's a pretty amazing takeaway. During this study, On Guard demonstrated cellular renewing properties, healthy inflammatory response, and immunomodulation, which is the ability to affect the immune system. What this suggests is that On Guard is so much more than just a blend that supports the immune system. It has many benefits and works on multiple pathways and mechanisms throughout the body. I've spent a lot of time with On Guard as a result of this study, and I have to tell you, it has consistently exceeded my expectations in research. From how it works with the skin to how it interacts on a cellular level. It continues to intrigue and excite me, both as a user and as a scientist. On Guard has been truly impressive at every step. I knew I liked On Guard before the study, but let me just tell you, it has become a staple for me and my family. This amazing study was a crucial step forward in showing the efficacy of essential oils. It was the first study of its kind, and it was evidence of the effect of a complex essential oil blend on a complex cellular system. On Guard showed diverse and complementary actions in supporting healthy cellular functions. And again, while we can't take in vitro work and translate it directly into human benefits, this research opens up new questions and lays a foundation for further studies on immune function and other complex human systems. In fact, some of these studies are already underway, and we can't wait for the results. If any of you are curious and want to learn more, or maybe you're just a science and research nerd like me, you can check out the full study online. There's so much information there. Before I end, I just want to share one last thought about the power of essential oils. The study showed that essential oils can play a role in how genes are expressed. We need to do more research and more study to understand this better. But just the thought that there's a connection between oils and epigenetics is truly astonishing. It's just one more piece of evidence that the gifts of the earth help us take control of our own health and wellness.
immune system running at full capacity isn't a one and done deal. Staying strong all season requires us to take care of our bodies from top to bottom. But On Guard isn't the only tool you have. Did you notice how many times nutrition has come up today? Nutrition plays a big role in supporting the immune system. And when it comes to nutrition, there's one product you don't want to miss: the Lifelong Vitality Pack. This is one of our most powerful products and one I use every day. Customers who've tried it keep taking it too. A fun fact about Lifelong Vitality is it's the most reordered product at doTERRA. I used to dread swallowing pills. But when I take Lifelong Vitality, I can concentrate and focus more. I feel better overall. And most importantly, I can actually keep up with my 3 boys under the age of 6, whether we are catching bugs or running to the soccer game. Lifelong Vitality keeps me fueled, and now it's an easy few pills to swallow. Dr. Andrew Goff, an emergency medicine doctor, is here to educate us more about the relationship between nutrition and immunity.
The past few months have been unique. As an emergency physician, I've been working on the front lines. It has been a difficult but incredible time to be a healthcare professional. I see the uncertainty in my patients as they present with worry and fear, wanting to know if they or a loved one are okay, wanting to know what they can do to protect themselves, their children, or their parents. As a physician, I'm in awe of the body's incredible ability to protect and heal itself. There are 2 main elements to the body's immune system: the innate and the adaptive. Innate immunity refers to the immediate defense mechanisms that protect the body. These mechanisms include physical barriers, such as hair, skin, and mucous membranes, as well as immune system cells that attack foreign cells in the body. Adaptive immunity is more complex. Adaptive immunity processes and identifies antigens. Once identified, the adaptive immune system creates specific immune cells to contain and attack that antigen. The adaptive immune system also has a memory that makes future responses against a specific antigen more efficient. I find comfort knowing that there are things that are in my control, that I have the ability to support and strengthen my immune system, to proactively care for my loved ones and my patients. You can support both your innate and adaptive immune system through developing a foundation of health and wellness. Working on the front lines has reinforced my belief that the best healthcare plan is developing a foundation of health through things like diet, exercise, and stress management. The most important factor in promoting optimal immune function is inarguably nutrition, which is why I, as a physician, recommend Lifelong Vitality every day, and why my wife and I consider Lifelong Vitality the most important component of our family's healthcare plan. Nutrition is the foundation of health. The food you eat is broken down into nutrients that the body uses to build cells and tissues. What you eat can affect your health positively or negatively. Good nutrition can help promote overall well-being and support every system in your body. Poor eating, on the other hand, has cumulative effects that contribute to many health challenges and chronic conditions. Unfortunately, research has shown that the standard American diet for many Americans is deficient in several dietary vitamins and minerals that are vital for proper health and immune function. This phenomenon is not isolated to the United States. Although people in developed countries have plenty to eat, they fail to obtain adequate amounts of health and vitality-sustaining phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals from their diet. People are consuming enough food, enough calories, but are malnourished because they consume foods that lack essential vitamins and minerals. Their stomachs are full, but their bodies are starving. This leads to something called micronutrient deficiency. Micronutrient deficiency is surprisingly prevalent in the developed world, and it can have a negative impact on our health. When our bodies don't receive adequate nutrients, it can lead to poor cellular and body systems function, general fatigue, mood and chemical imbalances, and reduced immune function. Vitamins and minerals perform hundreds of roles in the body. The immune system in particular relies on various micronutrients. This table shows how each of these play a different and vital role in immune function, both innate and adaptive. Research has shown that the average American diet just isn't providing them with adequate amounts of these micronutrients. That's where Lifelong Vitality comes in. Using high-quality supplements is a simple, practical way to help with micronutrient deficiency and should be part of your healthcare plan. On a very basic level, the supplements in Lifelong Vitality provide vitamins and minerals in amounts necessary to meet dietary recommendations, along with other botanical extracts, polyphenols, and metabolic cofactors that support proper immune system function. You just saw a list of micronutrients and what they do for your immune system. All of these are present in Lifelong Vitality. This set of products makes taking the first step on the path towards a lifetime of vitality and establishing a foundation of health and wellness convenient and affordable. Our lifelong health and vitality depend on many factors, including diet, physical activity, weight management, rest, stress management, reduced exposure to toxins, and inherited genetic predisposition for wellness. While some of these are beyond our complete control, breakthrough scientific research is revealing many ways which we can influence and even control significant factors of aging and wellness. A long life full of vitality and healthy aging begins with providing your cells with essential nutrients and metabolic factors to help them perform optimally. Microplex VMZ, one of the 3 supplements in Lifelong Vitality, provides 22 essential vitamins and minerals, which helps your immune system on a cellular level. Many of these vitamins and minerals are deficient in a standard American diet, making this supplement crucially important to you on a daily basis. In particular, it contains vitamin C, and zinc, which is what my hospital system is recommending right now while we anxiously await more complete treatments. I personally love this supplement. It has high quality ingredients, plus it uses a patented process that helps the body better absorb the micronutrients. The process is a little bit technical, but the vitamin is introduced to a culture of lactobacillus and yeast. As it grows, the yeast metabolizes and binds the vitamin to its protein matrix. This allows for increased absorption and bioavailability of the vitamin. The chelated minerals in Microplex VMZ are combined with amino acids to form complexes. Again, this is going to allow the body to identify, process, and assimilate the minerals to increase absorption and bioavailability. There are other ingredients included in the mix, including the full spectrum of vitamin E, natural folate from lemon peels, and iodine from kelp. The second product in Lifelong Vitality is Alpha CRX Plus. Alpha CRX Plus contains additional ingredients that support healthy cellular energy production and proper function of the immune system. Let's highlight a few of these ingredients. Various research has shown that resveratrol, green tea polyphenols, bromelain, grape seed extract, pine bark extract, alpha-lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, and quercetin all support both the innate and the adaptive immune system, and all are contained in Alpha CRX Plus. With all these powerhouses inside, no wonder you can notice a difference. Lastly, we can't forget about our omega fatty acids, which you get from Z-Omega. Fatty acids help support joint, cardiovascular, and brain health, as well as support healthy immune function. Stay tuned on Saturday for more on supporting brain health. A lot of research went into creating Lifelong Vitality. Everything in Lifelong Vitality was intentionally formulated to give your body the nutrients it needs to function optimally and support your immune system. There has even been research done on Lifelong Vitality. My favorite study, evaluating the health and benefits of Lifelong Vitality after 2 months, found that the participants had significant positive effects on biochemical indicators for cardiovascular health, antioxidant stress, inflammatory response, and blood glucose levels. Better yet, participants reported overall well-being, mental clarity, energy, motivation, control, balance, and happiness, while reporting less discomfort, soreness, anxiousness, and frustration. Would any of you benefit from those right now? Proper nutrition really is powerful at supporting the body and promoting health. When you take the time to dig into the abundant research of the ingredients in lifelong vitality, you'll find studies and research showing their impact on the immune system. But the best research you can do is to take it for 30 days and see how you feel. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you need to know is what you eat impacts your immune system and how you feel. Lifelong Vitality gives your body the vitamins and minerals it needs to support healthy immune function. As a doctor, when patients ask me, what can they do? I tell them, take Lifelong Vitality every day as part of their healthcare plan. Lifelong Vitality is the world's best supplement to your healthy diet to give your body just the right amount of vitamins and minerals it needs each and every day to build a foundation of health and wellness, and giving your immune system the tools to do exactly what it was designed to do. Provide protection and support your lifelong energy, vitality, and health. Doctor's orders.
It turns out that just having the essential oil bottles on your shelf doesn't help. Since osmosis won't save you here, it's important to establish a routine. The good news is that this can be incredibly simple and will bring you the results you're looking for. Before we close the day, I wanted to bring all this together and ask some of your most common questions to a couple of doctors and a nurse who hear and answer these for patients in their practice. Dr. Brannick Riggs, our Vice President of Healthcare Initiatives, and Ann Shipley, one of our nurse practitioners at doTERRA Prime Meridian Healthcare. We also have Dr. Catherine Iga Phillips, our newest member of the Medical Advisory Board.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
When it comes to supporting a healthy immune system, what are some of your favorite products that work well paired with On Guard?
Well, taken internally, oregano is great for immune support, but if you put it in your mouth, you know it's pretty strong. It's a hot oil, so I would recommend putting a drop or two in a veggie cap. It's also incredibly potent, so only taking 1 or 2 drops will be enough.
Additionally, there's frankincense, the king of oils. Frankincense has many uses due to its broad spectrum of chemistry, which means it can be used in a myriad of ways, topically, aromatically, and internally. Frankincense is an amazing oil to take daily to keep your immune system strong, your cellular function optimal, and your body feeling great.
Tea tree oil is a cleansing powerhouse. You can use it to clean surfaces, you can gargle with it, add it to your toothbrush, massage it down the spine, diffuse it. Tea tree is so versatile.
Lemon essential oil is another one that can be used in several different ways. When taken internally, it can support healthy respiratory function and act as a natural cleanser. And because it's refreshing and delicious, it's really easy to add to your water as a great flavoring to make getting your recommended water intake enjoyable.
Dr. Kate, you've shared about rejuvenating your immune system and how that's so important. Can you tell us what oils are best to do for that?
Yes, definitely. So I really love highlighting lavender for this purpose. I love lavender because it's already an incredibly versatile oil in and of itself, but it's really beneficial to the immune system for a couple of reasons. So lavender is a good oil to use at bedtime because it actually has a very relaxing aroma. And this aroma can be used to create an environment to help you get the restorative sleep that we all need. And lavender is also commonly used internally for quieting the mind and for reducing anxious feelings as well. So I'm always teaching about how stress and sleep are both very important contributing factors for supporting immunity. And then lavender oil just has an abundance of cleansing properties that are often overlooked.
Dr. Riggs, what doTERRA products do you recommend to support gut health for a strong immune system?
As you might imagine, we would go to PB Assist Plus for adults and PB Assist Junior for kids. That's one of the best ways to support our gut-associated lymphoid tissue. As we have better gut health, we have better immune health. Other products such as enteric-coated peppermint can also support keeping strong integrity of the gut wall. This in turn keeps the appropriate separation of our internal system and the items traveling through the tube of the GI tract.
Right off, I recommend the Digestion products. The oil blend aids digestion and soothes occasional stomach upset. And Digestion Terrazyme provides fantastic digestive enzymes, which helps your body convert nutrients to energy. Then the turmeric dual chamber capsules, which help support your immune system's natural defenses. Zendocrine is the detoxification blend. The whole line is very supportive of the body's ability to rid itself of unwanted substances. And DDR Prime manages healthy cellular activity and stimulates the body's immune functions. And of course, you can't go wrong with the doTERRA On Guard soft gels.
So that's a lot of things to take internally. In your experience, when is it best to use On Guard internally, topically, or aromatically, Anne?
I think it's best used regularly in all three ways because it offers most comprehensive support. You can be diffusing On Guard around your home, using it to cleanse the surfaces, applying it topically daily. You can be adding it to your teas, foods, snacks, etc. You especially want to use On Guard soft gels when you like to give your immune system an extra boost.
On Guard oil in our home is often used daily during times of seasonal threats, just as Dr. K has talked about in her home. We will apply to the bottom of our feet before putting shoes on in the morning, and then also diffuse it throughout the day.
Is there a limit to how much On Guard I should be taking internally?
You know, generally speaking, you don't want to go higher than 24 drops of essential oil per day, and that includes the essential oils in our supplements as well. Of course, with any substance, we need to be aware that the difference between a beneficial substance and a wasteful or unsafe substance is going to be dosage. Eucalyptus oil has been reported in literature to have some significant side effects with internal use. However, that usage is in such large quantities that we're unlikely to reach that level systemically with taking On Guard as directed. You can take 1 to 3 drops of On Guard every 4 to 6 hours for up to 3 weeks. If you're taking the soft gels, take 2 to 3 each day.
So Brannick mentioned earlier about putting lemon in your water as you drink that. And do you put lemon in your water daily?
I've had good experiences with lemon balancing pH levels when it comes to stomach upsets, as well as supporting elimination pathways in the body. So I'd say regular use is helpful to improve and maintain balance.
Dr. K, can you tell us the difference between lemon juice and lemon oil in water?
Absolutely. So basically, if you're looking to increase vitamin C or potassium or citric acid in your body, then the fresh lemon is going to be the way to go. However, the peel of the lemon is where the essential oil is extracted from. And the peel is where the nutrients are most densely packed and contains a lot of components that help with healthy digestion, that offer uplifting aromas, that promote healthy cellular function throughout our entire body. So the peel, another benefit is that it's not as acidic as the rest of the lemon, so you don't have to be worried about the risk it would pose to your teeth enamel. And then another very obvious, pro to the oil is that it's much more convenient, right? So I personally use the lemon essential oil throughout most of the year. And then I reserve the fresh acidic fruit itself for when I'm doing a more short-term cleanse.
I would agree with you definitely on that convenience. Lemon oil is a lot easier to take around with me than my knife and the lemons and cut them up every time I'm taking a drink of water. So that's a great tip. Thank you, Dr. K. So what are some of the best ways to use On Guard products for our children?
Well, just like for adults, internal use of oil has powerful effects. This is true for children, but they just don't need as much. If children are under the age of 6, I'd recommend that they use On Guard beadlets instead of On Guard plus soft gels. If over the age of 6 and able to swallow capsules, then 1 On Guard soft gel per day when needed would be recommended. Teenagers can take 1 to 2 capsules daily, and adults 2 to 3 capsules daily.
With school having started, it's important to keep our kids using good hygiene practices and incorporating essential oils for added benefits. There are a variety of ways to incorporate On Guard into our day. Washing your hands with On Guard soap regularly, of course. I personally love the foaming soaps and we use it every day. You can apply the oil blends topically to the feet at bedtime while the body rests, recovers, and is restored. I recommend diffusing it throughout the day to help cleanse the air. This isn't a complete list, just a few things that I wanted to get you guys thinking with. Even if your school is virtual or you're doing home study, it's important to have a routine as well. Good sleep, proper nutrition are fundamental blocks for all children, and then adding on the essential oils as needed. Use your intuitions as parents to address the needs of your children and make sure that each day at least one oil is applied topically with your touch.
Dr. Riggs, if you could recommend people start with just one oil for their immune system, what would it be?
On Guard, no question about that. This is far and away the key immune system oil. So if you're only going to use one, that's the one I recommend.
And Anne, what are some of the ways that you recommend using Purify in your home and in your cleaning?
Well, Purify is a perfect name for its blend. It's one of my favorite blends to diffuse because it protects against environmental threats and purify odors in a completely natural way. Purify also makes a powerful surface cleanser, just adding 5 to 6 drops to a spray bottle with water and On Guard cleanser concentrate in it, and you're ready to go.
Anne, thank you for that tip. That's so useful. Finally, Dr. Riggs, could you explain the difference between the Lifelong Vitality Pack and other more generic vitamins? Also, does it really matter if they're taken all at once or split up throughout the day?
I think you hit on a key thing in that question, generic vitamins. The care in which doTERRA took creating and formulating each vitamin in the Lifelong Vitality Pack is incredible and unmatched in any generic vitamin you are going to find on the shelf of a store. This is a group of vitamins that have been designed to support your body in the best, most efficient way possible. LLV gives your cells the micronutrients it needs. You can take them all at once. However, we usually recommend splitting your dose to take 6 capsules in the morning and 6 capsules in the evening. The supplements absorb better if taken with food, so take your LLV and then eat your breakfast or dinner afterwards.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today, Dr. Riggs and Dr. K. This has been phenomenal to gain so much insight. Using products every day and having a routine is so important. Instead of reaching for essential oils just when we're responding to threats, we use them all throughout our journey to strengthen and protect our bodies. My family uses Stronger, frankincense, and rose touch daily, and our On Guard hand sanitizer is just about in every bag for easy use throughout the day. Every one of us will have a different routine. My family's body boot camp, as we call it, is probably different than yours. The important thing is to find what works for you. You can take what you just learned and pick one oil to start with, then add on as you go. Dr. Riggs recommended starting with On Guard. To get more ideas on how you can use doTERRA products in your daily regimens, visit the doTERRA home. I mentioned at the beginning, we wanted to give you the knowledge so you can take back control of your health. A huge thank you to the experts who joined us today and gave us that valuable knowledge and practical application to do just that. The next 2 days, we will be learning about relieving discomfort and balancing mind and mood for a full well-being check-in and up-leveling. We have a really great day planned for you tomorrow. Starting with a look behind the bottle, we'll hear from our sourcing teams and partners from around the world and see how doTERRA is pursuing pure business practices in every link of the supply chain. Before we finish, remember to post a photo of yourself on social media using the hashtag doTERRAPursue2020. We'll be reaching out to you with a direct message if you're one of our winners. And now it's time to give away our biggest prizes yet.